Hello and welcome in to the Retirement Playbook, brought to you by Alspaugh Wealth Management. And what a show we have for you today. A brand new era here at the Alspaugh Wealth Management / Retirement Playbook podcast here. We are joined permanently here by Mr. Kyle Hilla. He's an advisor here at Alspaugh Wealth Management with us. Glad to have you, Kyle. How are you doing, bud?
I'm great. Great to be here. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to this future.
Absolutely. We're excited about that as well. Tony Shore is always with us too. He is the man, the myth, the legend of all radio. So, Tony,
Sure.
how are you, bud?
I am so good. I'll tell you, if I was any better, my name would be Brock Alspaugh. That's what I always say.
Here
you know
we
that.
go.
Here we go. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm doing great, actually. I've had a good week. I spent the weekend at a cabin with my family. And, now that my 3 kids are grown, you don't get to see them as often, but all 3 and their significant others joined my wife and I at a cabin at this great park. Beautiful cabin out in the trees, kind of on stilts. So you could sit out on the patio and overlook all the trees up on a hill. Is beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. And you're at your cabin, right? I mean, you do some work from up there.
I've
maybe
got
I
an
wasn't
office
supposed
up
to.
here, and
That's nice.
yeah, love the great state of Wisconsin. It's a great state. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Weather's really nice.
Yeah. Kyle, have you ever been invited to Brock's cabin? Because I haven't.
Not yet.
Yeah, see, me either. Me either.
It's in the mail, Tony. It's in the mail.
So, Kyle, you're a financial advisor there with Alspaugh Wealth Management. It's great to have you on the show. I look forward to working with you a lot and doing more of these shows. I know you'll be recording some shows with us, things like that. How's it going at Alspaugh for you?
Great. Yeah, I've started back here earlier in the year, and it's great to be aboard and help people reach their retirement goals. So
Yeah,
it's been awesome so far.
that's excellent. That's excellent. Now, Brock, you have a great topic for us today, right?
I do. But before we get into that topic, Tony, what I really want people to do is just go to our website. It's loaded with great information on not only this topic today, but other retirement planning topics. It's alspaughwealthmanagement.com. Tony, I think you can even bring it up on your screen there.
Yes.
And there's lots of great information. You can check out past shows that we've done. So you can look at titles of shows, and you can click on a show that interests you by topic. Then you can also request actually what we're talking about today, which is a 401k rollover guide, kind of to avoid the mistakes of some people that have experienced in the past. That's the great thing about mistakes, right, Tony, is that we get to learn from them and not make them going forward. So you can do that by going to our website. Again, it's alspaughwealthmanagement.com. All spelled out. And here we go. So there it is right there. Don't risk your retirement. Great webpage there. You can request a copy of this guide that we're going to be talking about today, avoiding those 401k mistakes. Okay, so hit that button, request a copy, and we'll mail you a copy of that brochure. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great looking website, Brock, and there's so
thank you.
much information here. I mean, if people go to, they can even check out the podcast page and listen to
TV.
past shows, the Business Owners Playbook, Retirement Playbook, and they can check out past shows. They can listen to all the shows or subscribe on any of these services. There are a lot there: iHeartRadio, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, as you mentioned, and TV. And boy, you have so much here, and I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
There's a lot here. Look at that! Look at that guy there. I mean, look at this right here. I don't know if people can see that. That is a beautiful picture of you.
Well, it's one of those things where, look, you want to have that online presence that is not only helps, the marketing of your business, but ultimately it helps people, right? Because it gives them the information that they need to make good decisions, good financial decisions when it comes to their retirement. And obviously that's what we're here for, is to be able to help people do that. So well, you do a good job, and I love the homepage now has Kyle up there. You guys are great. And then obviously if you go over there, Tony, I think under contact us, maybe it could be under our services too, but we have a great staff at Alspaugh Wealth Management. It's not just Kyle, myself, it's Jason Lee, it's Bailey Archer, it's
here Tracy. You go. There's the team right there. Look at
there's
that.
Tracy and Bailey. Kyle and Jason and myself. And so anyway, we're here to help, and we're really excited. We got a great team. So
yeah, look at that. Yeah, you guys clean up real nice. I just want to say that. I love that. Look at that. That's great.
Yeah.
And there's bios, and it talks about everybody. That's really cool. And it's a beautiful site and a great team. And you guys are like family, and you're like family with your clients. And I know you all care so much about the community. You have community outreach. It talks about that on the website. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. We like I said, we put a lot of thought and to work into our website to make sure it's as useful as possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So today, though, we really want to talk about the 401ks, and people oftentimes, Tony, have legacy 401ks. That's what we call legacy 401ks. When you have a 401k from a former employer and it's just kind of sitting out there, it may be growing in the funds that you left it in, but you haven't made any changes in several years. It may be a situation where, you just, change jobs, or if you're getting ready to retire. And, how do you turn all of this money that you're saving into an income stream, right? And so to do that, we got to back up and say, okay, if we're going to have these assets that will help us accomplish our goals, because obviously we all know the foundation is the Social Security income, but we're going to supplement that with our 401ks and IRAs and other investments that we have. So we want to make sure that those assets are doing what they're supposed to do. Okay. So we're going to lay out a few options for you when it comes to 401k rollover. If you have an old 401k, here are some options. Number one, you can leave it, right? You can leave it alone. You can leave it in that plan. If you have over a certain amount, usually if it's over like 10,000 or so, they'll allow you to keep it in the plan and you can keep it invested. And if you're younger and you have that option, it's not a terrible option, but you just want to make sure that it's invested in the right funds according to your risk tolerance, your age, your income needs, liquidity, all of the things that we always consider when it comes to investment recommendations. So, it's one option is to leave it in there. The second option is to cash it out. And Tony, I don't need to say it. Like, that's just oftentimes the absolute worst idea.
It is.
Because it puts you behind in savings. You're paying taxes. You're paying penalties. It's just, the net dollar amounts that come to you are significantly lower than what your actual balance is. But ultimately, I think the first one, which is it gets you off track for saving for retirement. You think, oh, I'll make it up. I'll put more money. No, I'm sorry, guys. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I'm here to tell you that that's not likely to happen. Okay. No. It sounds great, but it oftentimes is not the case, and that's not ultimately what happens. So, obviously cashing out an old 401k is not a great idea. Then the third one is that you can roll it into your new plan that you have with a new employer. Okay. And you can do that, and you can invest it in the funds that you're going to invest in a new plan. And again, if you have professional advice within a 401k plan, which some do, some don't, you have to understand all of the aspects of your new plan to do that. Okay. And for not to do it, but for it to make sense. Right. Okay. So that's another option. And then, the option that we think is the most attractive most of the time is opening it up an IRA and rolling that old 401k into a new IRA. Okay.
A direct rollover.
A direct rollover. So it's not a taxable event if you do it.
No penalty, no tax.
Exactly. Right. So here are some of the benefits. And I think, Kyle can chime in here too. But one of the benefits is that you don't pay taxes on it. Number one, like you said, it's a direct rollover. And number two, you have the entire investable universe at your tips, right? So what that means is you can come see a guy like Kyle or myself and say, hey, I've got this old legacy 401k. What should I do with it? And then, we're going to walk you through the entire process. So that professional financial advice, Kyle, I think is something that's worth looking at when it comes to helping people with their old 401ks.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, whenever you look at the plan, a 401k employer plan, and what that offers versus what people like us can offer as far as your investment options go, it's really not much of a comparison. There's just so
Right.
many more options, and usually there's better options for you with working
Yep.
with an advisor and having a custom investment plan for you.
So you're
Yeah.
saying it can be personalized more
Mhm.
to your own needs, your own goals, your own time horizon. You have way more options, like you say, but also it's just you have a lot more control.
Yes. Yeah, the control and the personalization to custom cater it towards you and your situation is really where the advantage lies.
It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So when for example, you're going to come in, you have a scheduled meeting with us. We fill out a questionnaire. We learn more about you, kind of like if you're going to see the doctor, right? We're going to understand who you are, where you've been, all that kind of stuff. And then ultimately we say, okay, here's where you're at, but here's where you're going. And how can we help you get there? And by putting money in a 401k, that's a great start. Don't get me wrong. It's a great start. If you have it available, do it. And especially if you have a match, do it. You get the free money, all that stuff. But if you have that opportunity when you're changing jobs or if you're getting ready to retire, then to take it to the next step and really get a customized plan and have thousands of options of investment options versus maybe 10 or 20.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Now there are things you have to consider there, Tony, right? You talk about, understand the fee structure of where you're at versus where, you could be. So you got to understand all of these things, right? So sometimes it's not always 100% best to roll it over, but I mean, I'd say 9 times out of 10, that's, a preferable option, right? So that's what I would summarize it with, is to say that usually a 401k rolling it to an IRA is one of the better options, especially the closer you get to retirement, right?
Well,
So,
yeah.
yep. So anyway, that's the 401k. Now listen, if you're out there thinking, okay, I've got this old 401k. I'm not sure I have enough money to talk to these guys. We hear that a lot. It's like they're worried about calling and not just give us a phone call. We are here to give you advice, folks. It's like, okay, listen, we're here to help.
Yeah.
And that help might be just a phone call to get
Yeah.
you on the right track and to give you some advice, right?
Yeah.
It's not all about just going through the full process, but if you just have a few questions and you have this old 401k, give us a call. It's 573-332-7855. It's not that hard. And then, or you can go to our website and request that guide as well that will answer some general questions about 401k rollovers. So that is on our website at alspaugh.wealthmanagement.com.
Yeah, and just to chime in there, Brock, just to get that peace of mind, and this is what we do every day, and talking to a professional that can tell you, yes, you're on the right path, or there might need to be some tweaks made. It's incredibly helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree. Tony, when we're talking about 401ks and we're talking about IRAs, this is all a supplement to Social Security, maybe a pension, maybe you've been a teacher, for your entire career, and you have, PSRS through the state of Missouri or whatever equivalent in other states when it comes to a pension. But really, ultimately, this is all about what's best for the client and understanding that we are fiduciaries. And that makes a big difference when we're saying, hey, listen, what we want to do for you is in your best interest. And that may seem very elementary and that may seem very obvious, but it's not entirely true in our industry, unfortunately. But when you're working with a fiduciary to understand that what is best for you is the best recommendation coming from fiduciaries that understand that, listen, we don't have any ties to any particular company or any particular investments. Let's just make sure we're doing what's best for the client. That is a huge help, right? I mean, that's what I think most people want, is to understand that, hey, if I come talk to these guys, like, you're going to get advice that's true and that's sound and it's customized and personalized and yet is best for me for 100%. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's really good. And here's the deal, though. Another big mistake that people can make with their 401k rollovers is the way in which they do it, right? You said there's options of what they can do with a 401k if they move jobs or leave a job, but the way in which they roll it over can make a big difference. There's direct and things like
Indirect.
that, indirect, right?
And you've seen that, you see that a lot. And in fact, it's funny. It's not a 401k, but we're dealing with this with a friend that didn't have it with us, but they called me and asked me about it. And he's like, "Hey, this is an UTMA account, a Uniform Transfer to Minors Act. If we wouldn't have been forced out of this, we could have maybe done some transitioning for this particular client with doing some Roth or other things that will be considered." So sometimes you just get forced out of these things, right? And so you get a check, and when you get a check, that's called an indirect access to the money, right? So it's made out to you. You haven't done anything with it yet. There may be some options, and you have 60 days, for the example, when it comes to a 401k, to take that check and put it into an IRA to make it non-taxable. And if you go past that period of time, be careful, because then it's a totally taxable event and you cannot put it into an IRA. Well, you can, but it's fully taxable and it makes no sense at that point. So to Tony's point, I think that's where you're going with that, is like, hey, be careful. If you do get a check for proceeds from a 401k, get that thing and deposit it to an IRA as soon as possible, so you don't even flirt with that time frame of 60 days. Yeah, it's a huge one.
Yeah, you don't want a tax situation or have to pay a penalty.
That's right. So if you're just getting started, you're younger, those kinds of things, your balance is say 10,000 or 20,000 or what have you, and you go work for an employer that doesn't have a 401k or any kind of retirement plan, then you would leave it there, and it would kind of make sense to do that. Okay. Now, what I would suggest for those folks is to say, try to find a target date fund within your plan. And what I mean by that is there are plans that have funds that target the date of your retirement or the year of your retirement. So, for example, if you're younger and you're saying, okay, my retirement date is 24 years from now, and so it's 2050, for example, then you would invest your money, your balance, into a 2050 target date fund. And what happens, Tony, is that when you put your money in that, because you have so much time to go, it's going to be very aggressive. So it might be 100% in equities or stocks and nothing in bonds. You might have some alternatives, but usually 401k plans, again, don't have the breadth of having all of the investment categories. So you may not have that, but it's going to be fairly aggressive. Okay. Then, as you get closer to that date, maybe in 10 years, it's going to be less aggressive. And then 5 years after that, it's going to be even more. So by the time you retire in 2050, it's a fairly conservative fund. So it automatically changes it for you. Yeah. And the reason I recommend those target date funds most of the time for those kinds of balances is because, if you're going to leave it there at some point, you might have that opportunity to roll it over as it grows. And so those, but if not, at least you're covered with some type of reasoning behind what you have from an investment perspective. So anyway, I just wanted to address if that was an option and you were going to keep it there, that's something I would recommend that you at least look at. But ultimately, again, talking to someone, figuring out which option is best for you, that's what you need. You need that custom advice. And again, we're willing to do that at Alspaugh Wealth Management by just giving us a phone call and asking questions. Okay, what should I do? What are my options again? I watched your podcast or I listened to you guys, but I want to kind of make sure what's best for me. All you have to do is give us a call and we'll talk to you and say, okay, tell me more about your situation and we'll tell you exactly what we are. The one thing we don't like to do at Alspaugh Wealth Management, we don't like gray areas. Okay.
Right.
We're very black and white, and we're going to tell you the truth, and we're going to tell it to you very directly, because I don't think anybody appreciates just kind of that gray area and as they say, beating around the bush. Like, no, let's just help these people understand where they're at and what their options are and what's best for them.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. You guys, great show today. Is there anything else either one of you want to add for our listeners and viewers out there?
Kyle, you good?
The only thing I have is just give us a call and we'd love to help. And everybody has their own unique situation. So trying to talk through that and seeing what makes the most sense for you is definitely in your best interest.
There you go. Well, I know you and Brock and everyone at Alspaugh Wealth Management, the team there, you offer a no charge, no obligation consultation. So, Kyle, let our listeners and viewers know how they can get a hold of you. What is that phone number and web address?
Yeah, so our phone number is 573-332-7855, and you can reach us at alspaughwealthmanagement.com.
All right. Well, great show. Kyle, great to have you on. We'll see you more and more.
Great to be here.
On the show.
Are you offering to shake his hand? Is that what you look like you were shaking his hand?
Yeah. There you go. Right through the technology is amazing.
Crazy stuff.
We're all in 3 different locations, but I just shook Kyle's hand. It was
there.
Great.
You go. Perfect.
That is fantastic.
Tony, good to see you.
Brock, great to see you too. You guys have a great time. Listeners and viewers, thanks for tuning in. That does it for today's episode of the Retirement Playbook with our host, Brock Alspaugh.